Hello, and I chose to do strategy number 5. It's all about learning to think about learning from the student's perspective so that we can make the experience better and boost their self-confidence through positive lessons and better grades. And there's several problems in teaching. The first is that, or the main one is that we present a lesson, but we don't know if it's really stuck in the student's mind, and we're building on faulty ground if we then test and move on. I mean, we use standardized testing to mold the classroom. Why not pre-assessments? And we need to keep students in the loop of formative assessment. It's the test's pregame. Being ungraded helps us know where we stand in absorbing the lesson, and it guides us in how to add extra support to our lessons. But now that we know its purpose, what does it do? It's that initial lesson, student action, and then feedback to adjust, and a final summative assessment. And the key here is that we need to tailor it to the error, but also show and teach students that errors are okay. They can make them. It helps them show them what they do and don't know, and they can then add more to their learning and understanding. So there's a couple types. There are incomplete understanding errors. So if you know about cell division, but confuse division of the nucleus and the cell itself. And in incomplete understanding, what is it? It's that the learning is not complete. It has a foothold, we understand the idea, but it's still being formed in their minds. And we can address other issues too, like flaws in reasoning. And this would be where someone knows a rule about one thing but applies it to someone else or some other part. So in real life, my students know that least active means lazy, but with cell division, they thought it was the smallest amount of time in the cycle. And what should we do? We need to first identify the flaw, because we can't fix if we don't know where it is. Use examples, good and bad. Cell division. So growth would be a baby to an adult, and repair would be if you have an injury. Then there's also errors due to misconceptions. So there's a great many in science due to popular science and news. My students thought that dinosaurs are green because they perform photosynthesis. And what should we do? We need to first identify the misconception. We need to plan lessons to dislodge them. One of the great ways about this is hands-on experience. Students doing research themselves and having labs themselves in person. And what's the most difficult here? I think it's the misconceptions. We need to have a pre-assessment where we give an experience to counter the misconception, engage in discussion, and then uncover it and contrast it with the correct idea. And as educators, we need to remember that learning is not linear. It takes a lot of roundabouts, so we circle back to reform or re-add information as we find the holes in our students' understanding. And this is where the term instructionally tractable lessons come into play. We need to design pre-assessments so that each answer choice identifies understandings, misunderstandings, or any problems that students have. So for multiple choice, we should add distractors to the possible answers, not just filler. They should not include humor, and they should be examples of the 3 types of errors that are possible. But we have other types of questions. What about essays? So for each test, come up with a list of the requisite knowledge for each question. And pick a reasoning target. So we can infer, summarize, generalize, or identify cause and effect. All different types of thinking. And then for each question, list the correct answer and why it's correct. They can also, for each distractor or possible wrong, say why they're possibly wrong based on what the student provides, or write why the student provides. Okay, beyond those, we also can provide rubrics for tasks, and it could be task specific, used to guide student work because it tells them what to do and what not to do. There's also general, so it assesses a given task and has great diagnostic power. Why are we doing this? Well, we're actually doing it to save ourselves time. It seems to take so much more time in the planning, but it's a great way to avoid reteaching and just pounding it in when it actually doesn't absorb into the student's mind. We need to do this so that they can know themselves. Throwing information at them will not work. We need to reduce the negatives of low achievement and increase the positives of higher student achievement. And this will be by student self-esteem. And it's all about understanding which blocks we need to insert into their education.